This is Greg Strange at the Institute of Directors with the latest in our series of IoD business vidcasts, and with me is the IoD's Director General, Miles Templeman. Miles, we're back, we're in the middle of January, we've seen the sort of fallout from Christmas, we've seen various companies and chains hitting trouble, we've seen all kinds of people prognosticating on what the economy is going to do, we've even had suggestions, heaven knows, of green shoots. But the government has got to lead in this. What do you want the government to be doing over the next couple of months?
Well, as you said, we're in the middle of the storm. We're now really into it. A lot of companies are feeling the pain. Unemployment is unfortunately growing. And I have to say at the moment, that's going to go on for a while. We don't know how long yet. What we want the government to do, some of the things they're already doing, I think their work on credit, for small companies particularly, is good. And getting the banks to be more available for credit, particularly on working capital, I think is the right direction. I think we want the government to carry on investing and driving big long-term projects. It doesn't help us a lot in the short term, but it's very important in the long term, like the third runway, which hopefully we'll hear about today. And we want the government on the whole to keep looking at the skills agenda, looking at how to help those that do lose their jobs. How can we get them back into work? How can we train them for the future? So a mixture of short-term and some longer-term issues are still very important. What we don't want the government to do is bring in new regulation that just adds to the burdens, and there are many things like the gender pay audit and so on, things they don't have to do, don't do them now. And still too many government departments are talking about regulation as though the crisis doesn't exist. The crisis exists. Anything that distracts companies from facing up to the economic battles is unhelpful. So we don't want the government to over-regulate. We don't want them to over-regulate the banking. We want them to find the right answer for banks, not the wrong answer. We don't want to make London uncompetitive. But on the other hand, we need new controls. We need the new FSA to come out with some better guidelines. So there are some do's and don'ts. But one other thing we don't want is too much interference. There's a danger the government thinks it's got to do everything.
Is the question at the moment of getting consumers to stop feeling scared about spending, and equally to get businesses to feel happy enough about investing, about going out there and seizing new business?
You're right. Demand is critical, and one of the things the government might try and do in the budget is further fiscal stimulus. And this time, if they do it, we hope they get it right. Not VAT, but income tax or national insurance. One of those two could still come up for grabs. As far as consumers going, they're going to be cautious. We know that. Sure, encourage people to spend, but realistically, many people are going to say, I've got to be cautious, and I wouldn't go against that.